Yes, family tree, welcome to Movement Decoded. Another edition. Caveat to this episode. Not gonna lie, disclaimer, I am tired. I'm very fatigued. My energy is low. My body's feeling sensitive. I have a little bit of a neurological discrepancy in my body from an injured thumb doing BJJ. That's kind of referring up towards my shoulder, which feels really mashed up. Your boy's just feeling it. You know what? It's England. It's winter. Sorry to be offloading right at the start. Actually, I'm just gonna say it now, just so you can, if you're watching this, I'm gonna try and just stay to the script and be as concise and clear as possible. But just so you know, your boy's struggling a little bit. It's cold. We're in England. The winter's looming. Body isn't regenerating and recovering like it usually does in the summer. That's why thinking about moving abroad. Watch this space. Might be doing these videos on beaches one day. I'm gonna put it out in the ether now. It's gotta happen. But yeah, just feeling it a bit. So bear with us. I'm gonna shout. This is gonna be. I've been a bit more inspired recently by doing little movement puzzles, movement sequences. Repetitive, kind of like figure of 8 loops, infinity loops, that help us like calibrate and train both sides. Through repetition, it allows us to indulge in maybe like novel and new skills in movement, vocabulary, and just add a little bit of refinement and repertoire. So yeah. Movement loop, infinity loop for us today in our movement sequence. Oh, all right, let's get to it. So a little bit of a warm-up play we'll do through 2 elements. Element 1. Don't know what to call this one. Let's call it Scorpion Stepovers. All right. It's like a grandiose wild thing for the yogis. So from tripod position, one leg is going to step through. As the free arm circles round and over the back leg, like a scorpion tail. Scorpion, round and steps through. And then we repeat. Circle, lift, oh my shoulder. Lift, and step. Lift. Nice and simple, I'm not gonna kick the ass out of this one. Whoa. That's element 1. Element 2, we're going to do a weight shift from squat, going to one side, heavy with the head, back to squat, weight shift, heavy with the head, back to squat, heavy with the head. Just weight shift from foot to hand, hand to foot. Notice I'm going single hand, just exploring there. So, weight shift element to combine with the Scorpion Stepovers. How do we do that? Be decisive when you want the squat to arrive and let it turn it into a transitional opportunity. Through, circle left, 1, 2, okay, 3, come round, prep into squat, use that momentum of the planted, whoa. 1, 2. Do an extra one just to make sure on the other side. Squat. As the foot comes down, it captures the energy to take it into another direction. absolutely fine if you bring it round and go the other side. But you know what, it's absolutely fine. For what feels good for me is there's this sort of an intuitive and natural kind of, it's either an oscillation, or there's a circle, or there's a spiral, or there's sort of like a figure of 8 sensation here. So it's changing direction without doing this. The momentum stays the same, shift. And when that feels intuitive in my body, I tend to go with it. Now I'm still open to learning and have many wonderful teachers and things, as well as my own exploration. I have my own blind spots, but what feels really nice at the moment in my own practice is seeing where that intuitively shows up. So here, the energy is going here, so I base and restore my body. It kind of naturally comes into the squat here to come through. 1, get back in frame. 2, 3. Now it can bounce and go through. So that's actually just a lovely research in and of itself. I'm really kicking the ass at this. I think I was just enjoying it a lot there. All right, now that we're warm, if you can pause the video, research that. Or you don't have to pause it. Meet me here in 2 minutes. Yeah, it's more comfortable. All right. I was very much on the brink of dissociating there, very much so. Let's get to it. Little movement sequence I'm going to play with, stemming from vocabulary of breaking in this sort of like more linear movement pattern. Here's what we're going to be breaking down a little bit, putting it in a bit more of a context that I like to deliver in these videos. A bit more of a softness, even though breaking isn't not soft. Just a bit more of this spiral, rolling quality into that. So how do we do that? We can break this down into a couple sections. Step 1. Negativa is going to be a really important position here. One leg, less of support, more sort of like stability. Anchor, this one here, anchoring, so we're basing into the leg. The movement that we're going to play with, using this tripod base. Instead of what we have been doing here, stepping over, this time we're going to send a trajectory of a curve, same leg as the planted hand. The curve comes through, we end up in Negativa, switch the hands. It keeps the curve all the way back into figure 4. Figure 4 here, like so. So I'll demonstrate it from the other side. Same leg as the planted hand, sweeps through, sweeps behind, figure 4. Other side. I'm going to do my right hand down, so my right leg sweeps through, switch. God, my left side is very sensitive, so I'm just being a bit more considered there, into figure 4. What do we do from figure 4? So we've just pressed from the hand. So we're going to switch again to create an even lower thread under. So I switch the hand, we swap, and it threads underneath. Well, hand braces next to the head, and we add pressure from this pivot point of the hand to head under the arm and coming up into Janu Shishasana. Okay, so all of that, a little bit more fluid, Same leg as the planted hand. Sweeps, swap, switch hands, thread under, swap, and push up. What am I doing with the legs in that sweep under? So in this position, switch on that thread here, the back leg comes bent and this leg comes up. I'm being so unclear with this. Figure 4, the thigh that's in front, hand comes down. As we thread, the front leg extends out while the back leg bends up. And that's the cue to switch the hands. Thread up to seat. A few angles there. So the front leg goes straight. From here, switch, slide, swap the hands, whiz it all the way under to a seat. Let's go through that a little bit more smoother. And up. And again. Left hand, left leg threads, swap. See that inflow, a little bit more clearer, but you can break it down mechanically to let the junctions, instead of be stop-start, instead of sort of go slow, a sustained loop. But we've got to break it down through repetition. This is kind of the crux of our movement puzzle today. Yeah, feel free to just keep rewinding back. You know what? I was going to do a slow motion edit, but I'm not. Just practice that through. The key element on that switch of the hands here is I switch, see this triangle? I'm trying to almost roll onto my opposite hip and bring my head under the arm. Opposite hip to the elbow, head under the arm. And it's going to bring you up. That's just last little detail that I'm sure it'll look quite clear through this movement. I told you I'm tired, guys. Doing variation now with the legs, but flip it, move on. Help me, please. This is a bit more of a, this is less of an unhinged video, more of just a help me, a cry for help, this one. Okay, the last element of this, from standing position, transitioning down to the ground. There's a movement that I like to do sometimes. It's kind of like this sort of like this prep for a backwards roll. Whoa. But the variation of coming down instead of through negativa. Do it through shin down position. Shin down, rolling through. And coming up. Shin down. And coming up. A little bit more finesse. This is going to be environment dependent. I'm wearing socks on a wooden floor, have a little bit less resistance, a little bit more opportunity to slide. So the variation that I've been exploring here is a slide back on the roof of the foot, and the same foot that slides back, same hand comes down. Slide. And then it turns into the back row. Slide through the roof of the foot, base of the hand, through back row. A little bit more finesse. Yeah. How you come out is very, very much up to you. Another angle. If the surface is a little bit more firmer, a bit more rigid, you can play with a bit of a spiral down. So if I want to come onto the roof of my left foot to the shin, I can face my left foot forwards and kind of spiral down, base with the hand, and keep that spiral going from shin to hip to over. Right leg's forwards, so I spiral, or backside, shin, hip, and then it takes us into the back row. But I thought it was quite fun sliding. Like so. That's all the elements we're going to piece together. I'm going to show a sequence, but then once that context is clear for you, see if you can actually place it in different orders, because it's very much feasible with this one. Order we'll play with, left leg leading. Nothing's new here, just going to piece it together. Slide. Back row. From here, we're prepped for the pretzel, the back leg. Sweeps, switch, slide. Coming up from here, the front leg is going to act as a pivot point. Same leg as the same hand as the straight leg. Comes down, lift. Oh, we've been here before. Boom. Base. Weight shift. And that can be our sequence there. In the weight shift, we'll scissor switch the legs. No, we're not. In the weight shift, we're going to do 2 scorpion tails. So now I'll go through the flow again and let it connect to the other side. Okay, scorpion, 1, 2, plant, weight shift, slide. Have we on the other leg? One, 2, base. How was that? Did that work? I hope it did. Yeah, movement loop there. Go back, repeat, watch, let it feel right for you, for sure. I'm going to give just a walkthrough example of inspiration for where we can break the rules. On the slide back. So come down. Here. Options to take it straight into the scorpion tail. Maybe when you're ready, thread. Reframing the momentum. as I mentioned before, from the squat to the weight shift to the hands. Extra details again, seeing if like, even on the back roll again, kind of planting the foot down with the same leg. What happens if we switch? From the pretzel, when we're coming onto the back. Here, you might be keeping that sweeping like the top leg. Here's it's coming around. Instead of coming up into the seat, maybe it brings us up into our lunge position to weight shift. And last detail there, weight shift can be what we've been exploring today, or a scissor switch. And the beautiful thing with calling this a weight shift, really inspired by Tom Wexler, beautiful movement artist, and Rosé, his partner, both fantastic. I don't know if this was intention when he described it, but thing with calling weight shift from foot to hands to foot is it doesn't, you see that and you think, oh, it's just a handstand. Well, you slap the label on it. And even though different vocab can have labels to help reinforce memory, the thing with the amount of variability that you can have on the hands is ridiculous. So if we kind of add a banner of handstand onto every time the hands come on the floor and the feet come up, it kind of sends this connotation of a certain limitation. Oh, handstand. Handstand always goes in one way, comes out the other way. So a weight shift allows for a little bit more opportunity, I think. It kind of gives permission for that. So context here, from the squat to the weight shift, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can refer back to the acrobatic videos I've shared here or things that you know, and use that context there, from squat to Gumby, from squat, the reverse sow kind of, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, variations. From my head, it's mental, so. Sequence there to run away with. I'm gonna try and have a little bit of fun with breaking the patterns. What to do? A roly-poly there, but I chickened out. Yo, leave me alone. I'm done. I love you guys. Bye. Actually, should I sign out like that? I know it felt quite felt like a statement, but I'm not. Thank you for the support. This is literally where I come in here off hours and try to grizz it and keep the consistency up, because there's been a beautiful little community flourishing at the moment, and I enjoy it a lot, even on the tougher days. So here, any questions, please leave a comment. Any constructive criticism, any feedback, anything to express, even if you just enjoyed it, let us know. Any things you want to see in the future, let us know. If you really like it, don't forget to subscribe, like you might as well. Saves you just typing in movement decoded every time. It just pops up, innit? And you're like, movement snack, let's get it. Yeah, get your boy some unicorn blood because it would have helped today. But your boy's broke, you know that. Just about afford. I've got this phone propped up on yoga blocks, broken my tripod. So, love, 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 family tree. Easy.